You hurry into the sweet place, to the nonsense chasing your spirit, and in the nonsense you look for answers. Dejan Stojanovic. I said nothing to Cass and made sure we kept changing pace and crossing roads. I wanted to get to a busy area as soon as possible, though that didn't help Sam. He was murdered in a crowd. When we turned a corner, I chanced to look behind. I was expecting to see Dana, but it wasn't him. This was a figure in a long coat and wearing a hat, so I could make out very little, which I suppose was the intention. Was it Fedora? A shadow passed through me, and I felt suddenly weak and chilled. I needed us to get home. I needed a large, famous grouse. I took us through the M&S store, and then through the back, and then double back through another entrance, and through the store again. Cass hissed, "Are we being followed?" I smiled and nodded. We came out of the M&S store where we had first entered it. We stopped. I couldn't see him anywhere. We got to the tube. I was fairly sure he didn't follow us there. There are different kinds of followers. Those who want to be seen, which acts as a warning. Those who want to get in for the kill as quickly as possible. Those who look for patterns of movement so they can predict where someone will be at a given time. I had the sense that our follower was the latter. He was being careful. It may be that he wanted to get me alone, and simply by being there, Cass made me safe. I hoped that this was the case because it always meant he had no interest in her. It was Britted who wanted me out the way. We're okay for now. As usual, I got things wrong. As we left the tube station, I walked towards my car. I knew something was going to happen. He came from the evening shadows, full tilt at me, knocking me clean off my feet and thumping down on the bonnet of my car. But this wasn't the long coat and the hat. Darnell held me down with his free hand and took a little bottle of something from his pocket and unscrewed the lid. I was too winded to fight back. "Stay back, Cass," I said. Cass stood and watched in horror. Darnell looked back at her, then back at me. He held the bottle close to my face and tilted it slightly. "That's it," he said. "Enough here to turn your ugly mug into a bloody hole. Now, you back off. This is your last warning." He tilted the bottle and at the last moment moved his hand. The acid fell on the car bonnet, where it sizzled and smoked the paint and metal away in an acrid plume. Then he threw the bottle away and walked to the black Audi. Brissett sat in the back, watching. He raised a hand in farewell and Darnell drove them away. Cass and I held each other in shock. Then got in the car. The bonnet still smoked a little. We sat in silence for at least 5 minutes. "Cass, I'm so sorry," I said. "What are you going to do about what he said? Back off?" she asked, swallowing back the tears. "I can't," I said. "Oh, good." At home, I put in some fresh linguine with mozzarella and Cass made a leaf salad. It was as if we both swallowed the horror and decided to behave as if nothing much had ever happened. Trauma always kicks in, but often with a delay. With a stitch of pain in my heart, I realised I'd miss her when she moved out, which could happen at any time. Yet the ludicrous danger she was experiencing could only be for the best. We started a bottle of cheap Rioja, while the pasta cooked. Then I switched on my laptop, put in a USB sensor, and after a few seconds a tiny green light showed and a beep could be heard. I brought up a map of England and slowly the view zoomed into somewhere in Hertfordshire. A large country house. Redworth Lodge in Cucumber Lane, Essendon. The photographic view showed huge gardens, a pool, a tennis court, outbuildings and a large main house. I searched. The blurb stated, "A charming Grade 2 listed 17th century house set in beautiful gardens with a contemporary conversion of the former coach house in a delightfully rural yet accessible location. Bedworth Lodge has close associations with Beatrix Potter, the celebrated author of children's books. It is understood during the summer of 1891 she stayed at the property where she sketched a number of pen and ink drawings, including the mice in their storeroom and the rabbit's potting shed, which inspired the famous Peter Rabbit stories, first of which was written in 1893. Nice gaff. What is it? A birthday present for me? Cass asked. It's where Brisset is. I put a micro tracker in the spine of the buck I gave him. At least I know where he is now. He owned a London house and a country-listed building, worth something like $6.5 million between them. Whoever said crime doesn't pay should meet the top players like Brisset, international bankers, corporate giants, the real criminals. Don't start me on that. My blood boils as soon as I think of how much money really works and who really controls it. I wrote down the names of the non-existent lorry drivers. A. Ames, J. Andre, R. Sorge, N. Hale. I looked at the file of deliveries they were meant to have made. So, such far-flung places as Laos, Sierra Leone, Mozambique, Chad, Zimbabwe, Somalia. Cass blew up the names on the wall. Given that they appeared to own no trucks, what they were delivering, if anything and how, the names of the drivers were spies. Places are some of the poorest and most disease-ridden in the world. Hardly honeypots for gangsters to dip into. What was the connection? What the hell did it all mean? Cass tacked up the list of deliveries. At least 2 a month for the past 12 months. Alternating drivers, but sometimes both drivers named. Given that the drivers' names weren't real, but the places were, and presumably the dates, what could we make of it? It was Cass who made the breakthrough. The places are real. So maybe they really do take stuff there. The drivers are the names of spies. And why spies? She asked. What do spies represent? Secrets, duplicity, codes. I sense we are opening a real can of worms here. So, the names stand for something else. Perhaps the names of other people, she said. Or whatever it is being delivered. But that sounds right. The names are codes. Perhaps Brisset came up with the spy names because his ancestor, Jack A. Brisset, who was also accused of being a spy for the British by the Revolutionary Tribunal. It's why he was executed.